Hello everyone, this is Tracy Newman from the Navigators Tarot, coming to you from another aspect of my garden, which I've been recording from for the last few weeks because the weather is really quite beautiful. I've had a lot of rain over the last week or so, but and I've had a cold, and so I may cough a little bit, but otherwise, yeah, it's a beautiful day out here today. So I thought I'd just come out, and I've got to go into town a bit later on, so I thought I'd come and do a reading out here for the collective, for the general energy report for this week. So let's see what's going on at the moment. There's lots of stuff happening in the form of revelations and truths coming out now, even in the mainstream media. I remember a couple of years ago I was talking to a friend, and the two of us were, quite, she asked me, and we actually checked the cards back then, whether or not the truth would come out in a 10-day or a 3-day report of 24 hours of it on the news. And I actually said, no, I don't see it coming out like that. I said I see it coming out incrementally, and it would, so that it would wake the masses slowly, and it would appear that that is exactly what is going on. Because you see, the masses have been, and I'm including myself in this, because it's only in the last 23 years that I've really begun to awaken to what is really going on. And and the indoctrination and brainwashing that occurs, especially through our mainstream media. So, and in the form of also television as well. There's a lot of symbology that is flashed at us very, very quickly, very subliminally, so that we don't actually ever really comprehend what's going on, but it sinks right into our psyches, so that we become exactly what they wish us to be, which is dumbed down and controlled, and believing their narrative, their ongoing bullshit narratives. So I have actually noticed that over the last few months that a lot of the truth now is coming out through the mainstream media, and it's because people are waking up, and also too a lot of other experts that actually have been squashed over the years, and their voices squashed, have now come to the fore because they have fought so hard. They're fighting in courts, they're fighting in all sorts of ways. The mainstream media will never ever come out and tell you exactly how this is all coming about, but it is, and so that is going on. So there's a lot of truth coming out into even the mainstream media, which is just amazing, and that's what we're really beginning to see. So I will shuffle some cards, and we'll see exactly what's going on with this week for the for the general energies. Yep. Focus, resurrection after a time of darkness and what would you call it? Like a dumbing down, like, of the masses, but it's a very dark, insidious journey that we've been on in the last however many years, especially probably in the last 50 to 60 years. And there goes. Oh, sorry guys. Sorry. The wind came and blew that down. Anyway, we'll keep going because I'm on a roll. So yes, so we have the card of resurrection, which is an amazing card to have right now, because we have gone through so many years of darkness, and so many controlled narratives that have been in the mainstream for quite some time. But now we're coming into our own, and we're moving into these beautiful energies of resurrection. And you will also see too that the cleansing begins from within, and a lot of our change comes from within before it can actually manifest as anything on an outer level. And I heard a really interesting report today about someone that was talking about the universe, and how it's like the universe actually begins within you, because it is the you, which is the one, and then the verse, which is many. So it's kind of like the universe. So there's many dimensions within the one, which of course begins within. So really interesting stuff. So of course, always, as I've always said, go within to find your answers to anything, because you will be bombarded at this time by a lot of darkness that is really starting to struggle now to hold its place in this world, because we're now changing. Our psyches are changing. Everything about us is changing. Our world is changing. But of course, before it changes, it must actually, the old structure must fall. And that is exactly what is occurring. And we're starting to see it now in the mainstream, which is so fantastic to see. And we have also the Two of Wands. So now it's about preparing, really preparing, and starting to get a sense of preparation for the new earth structure that's coming in. There is going to be some real changes that we're going to see. As the economic collapse begins to happen, then that will also then precipitate the fall of other systems that have been put in place for some time, like the medical system, the education system. All of those systems have been infiltrated by very dark forces for a very long time. And so now we'll begin to see that. It will start to come out to the fore. It's beginning to come out within us, and we're also starting to see it, as I said, in the mainstream. And so what we're going to now do is go into planning stage, because as we're waking up, we're starting to actually understand that we can no longer live in this old world structure, and that we will have to begin to look at new ways of being a part of this world structure and the world architecture as it begins to change. Destiny. This is actually a destined, fated episode in the world's history, and in the universal history as well, on a galactic level, on every level. And it is ordained by God, and by God alone. So when I talk about God, it is not some little old man sitting in a chair up in the clouds. It is the universal energy of all that is, and it resides in every single cell, in every single part of your universal body system. And that is how we ground ourselves into this earth structure and into the architecture and all that is, because we are all that is. We are God within each and every cell, as within, so without. Then we have intuition. At this time, it's very important to go within and listen to your intuition. We're going to be bombarded by all sorts of different energies that are going to come at us, especially in the mainstream media, because even though incrementally we are getting the truth through the mainstream media, it is still very much controlled by the narrative that has been the driving force of this collapse that is beginning to happen and that we're beginning to see. So you're going to get a lot of information that is usually false, but will set up a fear response within you. And you have to remember that these guys live on fear. The dark energies live on your fear. And so it's really important to go within, listen to your intuition. There's a lot of fighting in the spiritual communities. There's a lot of fighting within every community. You'll start to see it. But if you're starting to see that in the outer world, it's because there is something that is going on within you that is causing conflict as well. So it's a good idea to get and can cause confusion as well. So it's a really good idea to go within and to get very quiet. Silence is probably our best friend at this time, because there is so much chaotic energy flying about. And which will lead us into confusion. So a lot of the time it's really good to go within and to become very still and quiet, and then to ask any questions that we have for ourselves and for what is going on in the world, and to go within and ask if what you're hearing is true. Every time the wind sets up, I think, oh my God, this is all going to fly off, but it's okay at the moment. The birds are out at the moment. Such a beautiful day. What else can we see for this week? The King of Fire. It's a card of action. And I think a lot of us now are moving into these masculine energies of action, and it's required at the moment. But also too, I would say, if you're going to come from an action standpoint, always go within and ask yourself if it is the right thing to do, and to come from that space of all that is, that still point, that 0 point energy field, and come from there when you are making your decisions about taking action in any way, shape or form. Yeah, so interesting energies that we have for the week. And yeah, so I will be doing a masculine and a feminine report, and yeah, we'll see what else is going on. Great stuff, guys. Fantastic times. Okay, I'll see you soon.